Have you ever wondered what drove Sauron, the Dark Lord, to do the things he did? Our tale begins in the deep recesses of time, in an age when the world was still young. Sauron, whose name means the abhorred in the ancient tongue of Quenya, was not always the embodiment of evil we know him to be. Initially, he was a Maya, a being of divine spirit created by Eru Ilúvatar, the One. The Maya were akin to angels. Yet Sauron chose a different path. He was drawn to the powerful Vala, Melkor, the first Dark Lord, attracted by his strength and desire to create a world in his image. Under Melkor's tutelage, Sauron's potential was unlocked, but it was a potential shaped by darkness and a lust for power. Eventually, he became Melkor's most trusted lieutenant, and when Melkor was defeated, it was Sauron who picked up his mantle. Sauron's transformation into the necromancer was a pivotal part of his journey. His mastery over death and the spirits of the deceased gave him immense power, and he used it to sow fear and discord. His intentions during this time were clear. He desired control, domination over all living things. He wanted to shape Middle-earth according to his vision, a vision that left no room for free will or dissent. But let us not forget, Sauron was also a master manipulator. He had the ability to present himself as a benefactor, offering knowledge and power to those who would follow him. Many were deceived by this facade, not realizing the price they would ultimately have to pay. Sauron's rise to power is a tale of ambition, manipulation, and a relentless desire for control. It is a story that underscores the corrupting influence of absolute power and the lengths to which one would go to achieve it. But as we will see, Sauron's rise was just the start. Sauron's rise to power was just the beginning of his story. Sauron's power grew exponentially when he became the necromancer. As if his inherent strength wasn't formidable enough, this guise gave him an added edge, a terrifying ability to deceive and manipulate that left Middle-earth trembling in its wake. In the guise of the necromancer, Sauron was a specter of fear, a whisper of dread that swept across the land. He was the unseen terror, the lurking horror that seeped into the hearts of the brave and the free, leaving a trail of uncertainty and unrest. His power lay not just in his physical strength, but in his ability to sow seeds of doubt, to manipulate minds and to bend the will of others to his own. He was, in many ways, a puppet master, pulling at the strings of Middle-earth, bending it to his will, orchestrating a symphony of fear and chaos. The necromancer was a master of shadows, a crafter of illusions, a weaver of nightmares. He was the darkness that crept in, the terror that lurked in the shadows, the unseen enemy that struck fear into the hearts of the bravest warriors. His power was not just in his strength, but in his subtlety. He was the whisper in the wind, the chill in the air, the sense of impending doom that hung heavy over Middle-earth. He was the fear of the unknown, the terror of the unseen, the dread of the unimaginable. He was the ghost in the shadows, the monster in the dark, the nightmare in the night. But this was not just about power. It was about control, about bending the world to his will, about shaping the fate of Middle-earth in his own image. He was not just a force of destruction, but a force of creation, building a world of darkness and fear from the ashes of the old. But the darkness was just beginning to spread. Sauron's reign as the necromancer was only the beginning of a long and terrifying saga that would shake Middle-earth to its very core. Sauron's defeat was not the end, but a new beginning. Emerging from the ashes of his defeat, Sauron focused on the rebuilding of his empire. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, he was determined to reclaim his lost glory. His first task was to re-establish his stronghold Mordor, the heart of his power. He fortified it with impenetrable walls and filled it with his loyal followers, creating a formidable fortress. His next step was to amass an army, a force so powerful that it would strike fear into the hearts of his enemies. To this end, he created the orcs, monstrous beings bred for war and destruction. He also enlisted the help of the Haradrim, the Easterlings, and other creatures of darkness. Each addition to his forces was a testament to his growing strength and his unyielding determination to seize control of Middle-earth. Sauron's strategic planning was as meticulous as it was ruthless. He knew that he needed not only brute force but also cunning and deceit to truly conquer. He exploited the weaknesses of his enemies, sowing discord and strife among them. He used his powerful ring to manipulate and control, turning allies into enemies and sowing seeds of doubt where unity once prevailed. And as his empire expanded, so did his belief in his invincibility. He saw himself as the rightful ruler of Middle-earth, the one who would bring order and unity under his rule. His confidence was bolstered by his formidable armies and his seemingly unassailable fortress, making him believe that he was truly unstoppable. But beneath this veneer of invincibility, Sauron was not blind to the threats that lurked in the shadows. He was aware of the wizards, the Astari, who were sent to Middle-earth to counter his growing power. He knew that they posed a significant threat to his plans, but he was not deterred. He believed that he could outmaneuver them, that his power was superior. Sauron believed he was unstoppable, but he was not alone in his quest for power. Did Sauron know about Gandalf and the other wizards sent to stop him? This question brings us to a fascinating chapter in the tale of Middle-earth, one that showcases the intricate mind games played by Sauron and the wizards. Sauron, in all his dark wisdom and power, was indeed aware of the wizards. He knew of Gandalf, Saruman, Radagast, and the two blue wizards whose names are lost to time. He understood that they were emissaries of the Valar, sent from across the sea to aid the free peoples of Middle-earth in their struggle against him. Sauron's awareness of the wizards wasn't just passive knowledge, though. He actively strategized against their efforts, constantly working to undermine their influence and thwart their plans. This is evident when he ensnared Saruman with the allure of power, turning the head of the White Council to his own dark cause. It was a masterstroke, driving a wedge into the unity of the wizards and weakening their collective strength. This was a continuous battle of wits and power. Sauron, with his cunning and ruthless determination, against the wisdom and resilience of the wizards. Each move, each counter-move, was a crucial step in the intricate dance of influence and control that shaped the fate of Middle-earth. Yet, Sauron's awareness of the wizards didn't lead him to fear them. Quite the contrary. He saw them as tools to be manipulated, obstacles to be overcome. His arrogance, fueled by the immense power he wielded, made him believe that he was invincible. He was the Dark Lord, the one true ruler of Middle-earth, and he would let nothing stand in his way. But as we all know, pride comes before a fall. Sauron underestimated the resilience of the free peoples, the strength of their hearts, and the power of a certain hobbit named Frodo Baggins. Sauron was not unaware of the threats, but he believed in his supremacy. And it was this belief, this unshakable confidence in his own power, that would ultimately lead to his downfall. Sauron's downfall was as dramatic as his rise. The Dark Lord's overconfidence was his Achilles' heel, blinding him to the power of unity and friendship that the Fellowship of the Ring embodied. Sauron, in his hubris, believed that no force in Middle-earth could challenge his might. He was, after all, the necromancer, the one who had rebuilt himself and his armies from the ashes. Yet, he underestimated the strength that lies in the hearts of the humblest creatures. In the heat of the final battle, Frodo Baggins, a simple hobbit from the Shire, managed to destroy the One Ring, Sauron's source of power, in the fires of Mount Doom. With the ring's destruction, Sauron's might crumbled. His form dissipated, his armies were scattered, and the shadow that had long loomed over Middle-earth was finally lifted. The aftermath of Sauron's fall was a time of great celebration and relief. Middle-earth had endured a long period of darkness and despair under the reign of the Dark Lord, but now hope was restored. The lands began to heal, kingdoms were rebuilt, and peace returned. Yet Sauron's legacy lived on. His fall served as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the destructive power of greed. His story became a cautionary tale, a lesson about the pitfalls of power and the importance of unity. Sauron's fall also brought about a shift in the balance of power. The Age of Men dawned, marking the beginning of a new era. The elves, the oldest of the races, began their departure to the undying lands, while men took up the mantle as the stewards of Middle-earth. In the end, Sauron's lust for power was his downfall. His actions brought about his own ruin, and in the process, changed the face of Middle-earth forever. The story of Sauron, the Dark Lord, serves as a timeless reminder that power in the wrong hands can lead to destruction, but the strength of unity and friendship can overcome the greatest of evils.